Some families tear you apart slowly, not with fists, but with fake smiles, backhanded kindness, and inheritance paperwork. My name's Josh Carter, and this is how I got revenge on the people I once called family. I was 29 when my grandmother died, the only person in my family who ever treated me like I mattered. She raised me after my mom, her only daughter, passed away in a car accident. My dad had taken off when I was just a baby, so Grandma Eleanor, she was everything. She lived in a small town in British Columbia, in a big creaky house that smelled like old wood and lavender. I used to help her trim rose bushes in the backyard and listen to her stories about how she immigrated from Ireland in the 1950s. My cousins, Rachel and Trent, barely visited her, but when she passed, they showed up like vultures circling a carcass. The funeral was quiet, respectful, but I noticed Rachel kept whispering to her husband and shooting glances at the lawyer who'd handled Grandma's affairs for decades, Mr. Levesque. A week after the burial, the family gathered at Mr. Levesque's office for the reading of the will. I arrived in a worn jacket and jeans. Grandma would have told me to be comfortable, but Rachel and Trent showed up like they were about to accept an Oscar. Fake grief smeared across their faces. Mr. Levesque cleared his throat. As per Eleanor Carter's final will and testament, the entirety of her estate, including the house and all assets therein, will go to her grandson Joshua Carter. Dead silence. Then Trent blurted, "This must be a mistake. She promised we'd get the house." Rachel turned crimson. "She told me she left me the jewelry. Where is the original will?" Mr. Levesque calmly handed over a notarized copy with Grandma's signature. "This was filed 6 weeks before her death." What happened next was like watching two rich kids get told Santa wasn't real, but with more cursing. They stormed out, but I didn't trust it was over, and I was right. 2 days later, I got served. Rachel and Trent were contesting the will. They were claiming Grandma was mentally unfit when she signed it, and that I had unduly influenced her. It felt like being stabbed in the chest by people who should have stood beside me in grief. They had money, good lawyers. They even dug up some nurse who claimed Grandma forgot her own name once, which was a lie. The stress ate away at me. I lost my job, drained my savings fighting them. I moved into Grandma's house, now surrounded by boxes of legal papers instead of her garden clippers and tea tins. And one night I snapped. Not the angry, throw things kind of snap. The cold, calculating kind. I remembered something. Grandma kept a small lockbox behind a panel in the attic. She called it her real safe. I hadn't touched it since the funeral. That night, I crawled up there and opened it. Inside were letters, dozens of them, all written in Grandma's neat handwriting, addressed to me, Rachel, and Trent, and a few addressed to her lawyer. One in particular stood out. It read, "If anything happens to me and the will is ever contested, show this to the judge." Attached to it was a video CD. I didn't even have a DVD player. I borrowed one from a thrift store and played it. The footage showed Grandma sitting in her kitchen, holding up that day's newspaper. This is Eleanor Carter. Today is July 4th, 2024. I am of sound mind, and I'm updating my will because I want to leave everything to Josh. My other grandchildren don't visit. They don't call. Josh takes care of me. He is my son in every way that matters. I sent the video and the letter to Mr. Levesque that night, and he smiled when he called me back. At the next court date, the video was played. The judge paused the room, asked if Trent and Rachel still wished to proceed. Their lawyer didn't even wait. He motioned to dismiss the claim. After court, Rachel hissed, "You think you won? Enjoy that moldy house. We'll get it someday." I leaned in and smiled. Funny. Grandma said if anyone contested her will, the second version activates. She blinked. I pulled out another paper from my folder. One Grandma added a year before she passed. If anyone tries to challenge Josh's inheritance, their portion is forfeited and donated to a children's hospital. They got nothing. No jewelry, no antiques, no second chances. Weeks later, I donated the money in Rachel's name and mailed her the receipt. Revenge doesn't always come with screaming matches or fists. Sometimes it comes sealed in an envelope, with Grandma's handwriting and your name printed across the top. Asterisk, if you found this story as satisfying as I did living it, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and hit that subscribe button for more. Asterisk.